Okay, guys, this is Alan Forrest Smith, the Salon Punk Live on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Zoom. Author of books like this and a huge SX21 manual, and of course, our very, very highly acclaimed Salometric stream for salon building, for turning salons into real businesses. So tonight we thought we would go back to a kind of a basic question, really. And that basic question is part of our fundamentals that we're putting together. And one of the most popular questions I probably get asked from hairdressers is about opening a new salon. And opening a new salon has all kinds of questions, but probably the number one question I get asked is about location. Where should the salon be and all that kind of stuff. So I'm probably going to go through a few things that are a little bit more salon punk, maybe not as obvious. And it's actually a couple of these questions being asked here actually saved one of my new salon owners over in Ormskirk £24,000 in annual rent. So I just want to flip it up a little bit and kind of open it like this, which is 9 questions you should really ask if you are opening a salon or you're thinking about opening a salon. The first thing I would ask, and I thought about this, I thought about if I was doing this myself, the first thing I would ask is, why do you want to do that? There always has to be a fundamental reason why you want to open a salon. Is it just because you want fame, you want to be great, you want to make more money, or you think the town needs a hairdressing salon? You should really ask the question, why do I want to do this? I'll tell you something now, I've worked with a lot of salon owners, and a lot of salon owners are getting paid less than their most senior hairdressers. So you need to ask a basic question, and the first question is, why? The second question I would ask, and keep it personal to yourself, is, will my salon be any different? Notice we haven't even mentioned location yet. So will my salon be any different? Why do I say that? All those years ago, when I opened my second salon, my big salon, let me just, I'm going to be letting people in while we're doing this also. So the second question is, will your salon be any different? Sorry guys, I don't know if I'm a massive fan of Zoom, to be honest. I've been using it only during lockdown, but I don't know if I'm its greatest fan. But anyway, when I opened my big salon, 2,000 square foot salon, it was a long time ago in 1991. There was a question I didn't ask that I should have asked, because I was opening the salon in a town of 35 other salons. And one of those salons in particular had been there for nearly 40 years, a long time had been there. And a lot of the other salons, up to 10 salons, had been there for over 10 years. But I didn't really ask the question, will my salon be any different? Because if you are opening a salon based on pricing or based on services, so if you think we'll do the same price as everybody else, we'll do balayage like everybody else, we'll do this and that like everybody else, and we'll try and get a middle of the ground price. That's not going to be a good enough reason for you to open the salon and be successful as a salon owner. So ask yourself the question, will it be any different? Another question I would ask myself is, can we offer a specialist service? What will your salon specialize in? A salon owner said to me the other day, yeah, we specialize in balayage. Nobody specializes in balayage because everybody does balayage. So how can you be a specialist in balayage? A specialist service is something that you do, and you do it brilliantly well. So good that no one else can claim to say that they also specialize in the service. So ask yourself the question, am I a specialist? Can I specialize in something in particular? And what about the look and feel of the salon? Now, I'm not on about the fittings, because a lot of salons I visit, to be quite truthful, look almost the same. I'm talking about the look from the outside that the client sees. So in other words, what does a client perceive your salon to be? Do they see your salon and they look at the salon and they think, yeah, it just looks the same as everybody else? Or does it have a presence or position that makes it seem different? So the look and feel of the salon, not from the fittings point of view, but from how people see your salon. How will it look and how will it feel, or how will it be perceived by the potential clients and the clients coming into your salon? Another question I would ask is, what is my vision for this salon? Honestly, guys, to open the doors of a salon and just hope it's going to do well is a massive mistake. It's probably the #1 mistake I see with salon owners when I go consulting and working with you guys. Probably the #1 mistake is just open those doors, hope you're going to be busy, hope you make enough money to buy yourself a nice house and a nice car and everything else. It's a mistake because if you don't know where you are going, you won't get anywhere. So if you go outside the house right now and jump in your car and somebody says to you, where are you going? You say, I'm not sure where I'm going, but I'm sure I'm going to get there. It sounds ridiculous, right? So you have to have a vision for the salon, a vision for the business. And really, what does that mean? It just really means, what do I want 12 months from now? So if I look at my salon 1 year from now, what is it I want from this business? Is it a wage of £75,000? Is it a turnover of £400,000? What is it? What is that vision? Is it so you can come off the shop floor and be a strong salon business owner and have a good manager that you've trained to run that business? You have to have a vision. If there's no vision, for this, nothing's going to happen. Another question I would ask myself before I open the salon, and again, we haven't gone to location or anything, is how will I fill this salon? Almost every salon I've dealt with, without exception, has no real plan to fill the salon before it opens. You have to think to yourself, how clients are not just going to leave other salons and come to you. People are just not going to walk in and hope you can do their hair. Yes, a few will, but it's not enough to build a real business. So you have to ask yourself this question: how am I going to fill my salon? If I'm going to invest in this property, if I'm going to invest in all these people, if I'm going to sign this lease for 15 years or whatever you're going to do, how will I fill it with paying customers? If you have no plan, you are planning to fail. You have to have a plan to fill your salon. And if you don't have a plan to fill the salon, it's going to be very, very difficult. Again, these are all questions you should ask yourself before you open the salon, but you can still ask these questions at any other time. So what about question number 7? I only did 9 of these questions, but what about question number 7? What is my business strategy? What does that mean? Look, what it really means is you have to have a plan of action for the columns. You have to have a plan of action for the staff. You have to have a plan of action for the manager. You have to have a plan of action for the business as a whole. What is my strategy? Now, some salon owners will say to me, Alan, my strategy, let me just let these guys in. So some people will say to me, let me just fix this one. Sorry, guys. Oh, go back to me. Let's put me back on the screen because I'm the important one here. Some people will say to me, my marketing strategy is to have an Instagram account, have a Facebook account, and they will post content every day. Well, guys, that's not enough these days. Especially, believe me, this pandemic has changed the way people think, the way people act, and it's changed people's habits. So, more important than ever, you're going to have to think a little bit different about how you do your salon and how you put the strategy together. A strategy will not happen by accident. So you need to ask yourself the question, what is my marketing strategy? Question number 8, second to last. Question number 8 is, do I need advice? Now, I don't know why this is, but within our industry, we generally don't really go and ask for advice. Now, I've worked with hundreds of different industries since being a hairdresser. And most industries, especially corporations, they will always go and they'll always go and get advice before they do anything. Now, why did they get advice? Because most things have been done before. There's not really a lot new about what's being done, apart from the times that we are living in and maybe more up-to-date tools. So it makes no sense to not ask for advice. You can go to someone. So for instance, if you wanted to build something on your house, what do? Do you just say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to B&Q, I'm going to order bricks and everything else that I need, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to start building this house and hope it looks really cool? Well, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. The first thing you do is you get a builder and you speak to him. The second thing you do is you get an architect and you speak to him. The third thing you do, if you need to get finance, you go to a finance guy in the bank, wherever, and you speak to them. In other words, you get advice because the reason we ask for advice is to reduce risk. So one question I would always ask is, have I been and got good advice? Good advice can be more difficult to get than ever these days because of so many new experts online that don't really have the experience. But good advice will reduce your risk dramatically. And then final question, which is a big question I always get asked, and notice I put it at the end, is people will say, salon owners will say to me, or new hairdressers will say, what do you think about this location? Honestly, guys, if you have all this other stuff right, location won't make a huge difference unless you are the only building on an island in the middle of the ocean. It won't make a big difference. So the location is something you can think about, but it's not the most critical thing because there's so many brilliant ways of building a business without fussing too much about the location. If it was me personally, I would not go on a high street. I just wouldn't go on a high street. It's too expensive, too many problems, too many issues. But I would go on a location that people can access. They can either park the car, they can get the metro, or however they're going to get there. But for me, the location would be the very last thing I would personally be thinking about. So let's wrap this up. Again, why are you opening a salon? These are 9 questions you should ask yourself. Why am I opening my salon? Why am I doing that? There has to be a reason. Write the answer down. Will it be any different from anybody else's salon? Will I be a specialist in this salon? And that doesn't mean I'm a specialist in balayage. Will the look and feel or the perception of my salon be strong enough to pull people into the salon? Do I have a big vision for the salon? How will I fill this salon? Do I have a long-term marketing strategy to make the salon packed from morning till night? Not just packed, to thrive and prosper, but to grow and expand and to hopefully hit your first 500,000, hopefully hit your first million and beyond that as well, of course. Have I asked for good advice, or am I just hoping that everything's going to work and everything's going to be okay? And finally, will this location work for me? So guys, that's it. That's the 9 questions I thought would be a good thing to start this fundamental free training for you guys with. Now, the questions you can ask as a new salon owner, and quite honestly, they're questions you can also ask as an existing salon owner. Now, if you have a question, now is the time to ask that question. So guys, if you have a question, please ask now. Just type in the chat box on Facebook, or type in the chat on the comments on Instagram, or of course chat on the comments on, let me put these on Facebook also. Okay. So guys, you've just got, there's no questions coming in. We'll just wrap this up. Okay, guys. Any questions at all on any of those 9 questions? Okay, so I think it's Dave. I think Dave. Dave's saying, I'm a sales rep and I look after salons. I think there's going to be a question coming after that. So he's saying, okay. So he said, I'm a sales rep. I look after salons. I'm worried they will go out of business. Some of them will. Unfortunately, some of them may do. But that doesn't have to happen. I mean, I've worked with lots of salons. Here's one thing it doesn't change. People still want the haircut. People still want their colors. People still want to look and feel good. And in things like recessions or this pandemic, other shutdowns, things like that, people want to feel good. They want to feel good about life, being alive. And of course, we know a fundamental thing in that is the hair. So that doesn't change. You're still going to have the hair done. If the salon is possibly in the threat of closing down, what they should be asking themselves is, what am I doing about it? I mean, when I work for salons, we normally implement what I call a 12-stack plan of marketing that they have to do every single day. So, David, if you're working with salons, one thing you should be saying to them is, tell us what are you doing every single day, or what can you do every single day to make sure clients are coming into your salon? Okay, so Stephen's asking, what is the percentage of salons that know their business strategy? I would say almost 100% of salons I certainly deal with don't have a business strategy. They have a rough idea of what they're doing with their business, but they run it like a hairdressing salon rather than a business. What does that mean? Well, what it really means is, as hairdressers, we're not really trained to be business people. So we go in with our hands and our creative energy and our chaotic ways. But the problem is that isn't really running a business. To run a serious business, believe me, I work with a lot of big companies, you have to have a plan. And some companies will work for, some companies will work for 6 months on their business plan before they go forward. So most salons I work with don't have a business strategy. Every salon I work with, when I leave them, they have a business strategy. But Steve, it's quite a low number, to be honest. It's quite a low number. So Dave, if they do have a business strategy, is it important to reconfigure it to cope with COVID? Or can they just ride this out and maintain the same plan? The only problem with COVID really is a reduction of volume through the salon. So my daughter's a hairdresser. In her salon, they're working with half a staff at different shifts. But the shifts still don't cover the full hours that they were doing before. So they're doing 50% less numbers through the salon than they were before. Some of the salons have had to let staff go. The truth is, you may have to ride this out. It will all disappear at some point. But the truth is, from what the scientific stuff I've read about these things, this virus isn't really going to disappear. But the truth is, it's not going to really affect the majority of us anyway. And probably the governments will come to the conclusion that we're going to have to live with this. Just like we live with, it's worth remembering that nearly 750,000 people die every year from flu. 2.5 million people die every year from malaria. But I don't want to pretend I'm a scientist or anything. All I'm saying to you is, you need to have, during this COVID, you need to have a plan of action. You need to do. But the same plan, but you have to kind of tweak things. Because, for example, you can implement specialist services, which will give you more income through the salon. So it's a small change, but it's a big change as far as the turnover goes. If you're suddenly doing 30 Olaplex a week at £25 a throw, that is a lot of extra income through the salon. So you can still work with the same plan, but implement specialist services, which will increase the turnover through the salon. I hope that answers the questions, guys. Any more questions? We'll take maybe one more question. No questions on Instagram. Okay, thanks, David. I'm sorry, Dave. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I think I am, Dave. There's none on Instagram, and there's no questions on. Okay, brilliant. There's no questions on Facebook either. So, one more question. Any question from anyone, or should we just wrap up? All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. Thanks for your time for coming to us. This is the Salon Punk, Alan Forrest Smith from salonpunk.com. Okay, just one more question. Do you think that the referral system could be more busy in the UK? Referral systems are the best tool any salon can use, but most salons don't use them. They don't use them properly. So if you have a good referral system in a salon, you should be using it. Guys, we're going to wrap up because this camera is about to die. So this one looks like it's on its last leg. So we'll see you here same time next Monday, hopefully with more people on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Zoom. And thanks for coming, guys. This is Alan. We'll see you soon at the salonpunk.com. Thanks, guys. Thank you.